Before you start practicing with thread in the machine, we're going to practice sewing on paper so that you can learn how to control the speed of the machine, use the hand wheel, use the presser foot, and pivot with the needle down into the paper and going around corners. You're going to be doing several sheets. If you make a mistake, don't worry, just do the best you can. And once you've completed the sheet, if you're not happy with the results, you can redo it. The first one is pivoting around corners and squares. The next one is curved lines. Then you have, they're numbered also, you're going to have 4 with an extra bonus sheet. Curved lines. And then this sheet has diagonal lines, straight lines, and curved lines with a pivoting point. The presser foot has a groove right down the middle of the foot, and that shows you where the needle will be going in. Please make sure that you check all the settings on your machine, that you have a 2.5-inch stitch length and that the stitch width is at 0 so you have a straight stitch. Place your paper so that the line is right in the center. Don't look at the needle, look at the line, look where you're going. Don't look at where the needle is. You place the presser foot down first, insert the needle into the line, and start the machine. Go at a slow, steady speed. Okay, you can't stop. You're not going to be able to stop exactly on that corner. So when you get close to the corner, take your foot off the foot pedal, use the hand wheel to get right exactly there, as close as you can. You leave the needle all the way down, lift the presser foot by putting your hand through this way on the machine, pivot the paper towards you, lower the presser foot, and follow the line. When you get to the next corner, again, slow down. Take your foot off the gas pedal. Use the hand wheel to get right onto the corner. Sometimes it may go a little bit past because of the stitch length. Don't worry about that. Raise the presser foot, lower it down, and then continue to get back on the line. When you're finished, you should be able to turn the sheet over and see that you've done some nice straight lines and some nice pivots. Remember, don't pull on the paper or push the paper. After this, I want to show you how to do a top stitch using the same sheet of paper. A top stitch or an edge stitch is a decorative stitch that's done on garments. You see it here on some denim jeans. You see it here on the back of a pocket and across the yoke on the back of the jeans. It's about 1/4 inch and it lines up with the outside edge of the presser foot. So for the second stitch you'll do on this paper, you're going to line up the outside edge of the presser foot along this black line. That's also 1/4 inch. I'm going to be using that a lot this year. I'll be telling you, I want you to sew 1/4 inch away, line it up with the outside edge of the presser foot. You start by inserting the needle, and then you're following this black line on the edge of the presser foot. Now we don't have a line to pivot here anymore. So how you'll know how to stop about 1/4 inch. The edge of the toes here on the foot where this metal is about 1/4 inch. It's a little bit less than that. So when you get near the corner, you're going to slow down, use your hand wheel, and when you get just about where the foot is touching the black line, leave the needle down, pivot, and that'll be about 1/4 inch. And go ahead and continue that way. So again, don't look at the needle. Keep your eye on the line next to the presser foot. We're getting down here, so I'm going to use the hand wheel. When the front of that foot is about to the black line, leave the needle in. Now when I pivot, Looks like I could have gone maybe one more stitch, but that's close enough. And continue on that way. And what you should see when you're done is that you have your first row of stitches on the line, and then you have a top stitch 1/4 inch away. The second sheet is curves. There's no exact pivots here, but you'll use sort of a form of pivoting where you'll follow the curve, and if you're not making it around the curve, you'll stop with the needle, raise the presser foot, adjust the paper, and continue on. Okay, so I'm going to line up my line that I want to follow with the line on the foot, lower the presser foot, lower the needle. Okay, now you have to really kind of look ahead of where you're going to start curving the paper. So you start curving it before you get there. Now if you get to a spot and you're like, oh no, I'm not making the curve, leave the needle down, lift the presser foot, get back on track. Okay, here I'm in a little bit of a straightaway. Okay, I'm coming up to a curve, so I want to start curving the paper before the curve happens. Okay, now I'm at a spot where I'm like, I'm not curving enough, so I'm going to leave the needle down, readjust, and follow along the curve. Even if you have to readjust many times, that's okay. Sheet number 3 is the same idea as the curved lines that you just did. You'll start here and you'll have to curve the paper. If you're getting off track, just stop, put the needle down, lift the presser foot, and keep going. You go all the way around till you get to the finish. Sheet number 4 has different lines. You're going to have to pivot here. Although it's not a right angle, you'll still need to pivot. Straight lines should be fairly easy. Curved, we've practiced a little bit, and curve and pivot is a little bit different. I'm going to show you examples on how to sew this diagonal line and the curved and the pivot line. Okay, so you're going to use your presser foot to line up on the first line here. Lower the presser foot, lower the needle. Follow the line. Now you're getting to a spot where you're going to have to pivot. So slow down, use the hand wheel. You get right on your spot where you need to go. And then you're going to pivot slightly, line up again, and continue. Slow down before you get to the corner. Use the hand wheel. Leave the needle down. If you need to look and see if you're on target, you lift it up and take a look. Pivot. Lower the foot. And continue. The straight lines and the curved lines, we've practiced those on the other sheets, so it will be the same idea. This line is a little bit different. It's a curve and a pivot. You'll see that when you're sewing your wrist pin cushion and you're doing a small design, you're going to have to use these techniques. So I line it up, put the needle on the line, start to curve. If you get off, just leave the needle down and get yourself back on track. You can do that as many times as you need to. Okay, I'm coming to a point. So this isn't a curve, it's a point. So I'm going to use my hand wheel. Got right on my point there, needle all the way down, pivot, and now I'm ready to sew the curve again. So take your time. There's no need to go fast, and stay calm and breathe. After you've completed all these sheets, there's one extra bonus sheet that you'll do. If you're not happy with how some of them came out, then you can redo them, that's not a problem. Put them in numerical order. Staple them. Make sure you put your name, period, and date on them and turn them in.